Hello there YouTubers, Jordan Blaikie the Liver Flush Man here. Today going to teach you how to make the Wheatberry Rejuvelac drink. This is another one of nature's top probiotics, much like kombucha. This is a living probiotic. This is unlike Rejuvelac from the purple cabbage or green cabbage, which is not a living probiotic. These living probiotics are the most powerful probiotics, some of the most powerful probiotics in the world, these living Rejuvelacs, the living kombucha longevity drink here, because these have the living enzymes and living life force in the food. Alright, living antioxidants and life force and vitamins and minerals that are intact with its life force still available. So I'll tell you what we've done here is we've used the wheatberry, the hard wheatberry here. There's hard and soft. They can both be used. Generally, we like to use the hard wheatberry. So what I've done here is I've actually sprouted this wheatberry here. This has been now sprouting for 3 days here, and that's about perfect. If you look really close, you can see little green shoots. The little green shoots, that is the wheatgrass, which you can make the wheatgrass juice, wheatgrass shots, in order to alkalize your body and oxygenate your blood. The chlorophyll is highly oxygenating for your blood and your cells of your body, and oxygen helps keep disease away. It helps strengthen your immune system. It helps strengthen your blood and your blood force. Alright, so the chlorophyll is known as the blood of plants, and it's instead of the red blood of our blood, the hemoglobin is red. The plant's blood is green, and it's the chlorophyll, which is the photosynthesis of the sunlight converting into energy in the plant. So that chlorophyll is also able to bond to heavy metals, which is it chelates. Chelates is bond to metals, which then is able to carry those heavy metals, including fluoride from tap water, out of your body and your glands and all parts of your body. It's going to pull out those heavy metals. So what this is about perfect here, just a little bit of the green shoots like that is good. But I want this to be really high quality chlorophyll content too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more day, probably 4 days. We'll take a look in one more day. I'll tell you what the process has been so far to sprout this so far. This is what I've done here. Alright, so I'll bring you over here to the sink right here, and this is the process of making this Rejuvelac. So you add the wheat berries. Alright, you add the wheat berries to your glass jar, and you definitely want to use a glass jar. This is what the wheat berries look like. You can buy organic wheat berries at most health food stores, and they're really high quality. You can also make the wheatgrass juice that I talked about and the wheatgrass shots, but for the chlorophyll. And you can also do the enemas with the wheatgrass as well, which is even more powerful and absorbable to your body and the blood. So here's the hard wheat berries. What I did was I added approximately this many wheat berries. It about however much you put in, it about doubles that. So if you want to make a lot of if you want to make a lot of wheatgrass Rejuvelac, then you could even do a larger amount and then use other jars, so you have a lot going. Alright, but this one here, basically after it sprouts, it doubles however much you put in because of the sprouting. So what you do for each day of the 3 to 4 days that you're sprouting this, the first day you add the water. So right here I have this hooked up to a Niken Mag water filtration system. So if you don't have a water filtration system, what I had been doing before I got the water filtration system is I was at least putting in the water in a glass jar from the tap and letting it sit for 24 hours minimum. and that was able to evaporate most or all of the chlorine and possible chloride, but for sure the chlorine gets evaporated after 24 hours, and that's really good. And then as well, I will add a bunch of crystals in here, different crystals for different chakra healing, and the crystals contain bioplasmic energy that is able to feed our subtle bodies, the chakra bodies, that power, the main fuel and power behind the organs. All right. So that is at least, I mean, if you don't use the crystals, at least you can put the water in a glass jar. Now that does not get rid of the fluoride, which is heavy metal. And so what can you do to get rid of the fluoride? Well, it's kind of interesting. You can't get rid of fluoride by boiling water, by letting it sit for 24 hours. None of that gets rid of fluoride. Distilling water doesn't get rid of it. It may get rid of some, but not a lot, or even definitely not all of it. Basically, you know, you want non-fluoride water so that you're not bringing in the fluoride. But if you are, and you are drinking the fluoride in the water and from toothpaste and stuff, then basically, you know, that's where you want the chlorophyll. That's going to chelate those heavy metals. And you want to bring in the iodine, natural occurring iodine, and not from white refined table salt. That iodine is deactivated, it's chemically processed and heated, and it's actually causing more harm than good. It's calcifying the endocrine glands, including the thyroid, pineal, and pituitary gland, the higher chakras of the body. So yeah, so there you go. This is you know, put in the best quality water you can once you've added your Rejuvelac berries there, and then you'll let those wheat berries soak for approximately 18 to 24 hours in the water, and that is going to activate the enzymes to help it soften it up and to water the the inside in order for it to sprout. All right, so here we go, and what you really want to do is you want to mix it around and get some of that starchy stuff. If you look at this, you see how there's a white cloudiness to it there. Well, that is starch and stuff, and the starch is a lower level of the foods, all right, of the raw food world, and so you really want to rinse it a lot. When you just rinse it without it sprouting, there is less of the starch, and then as you sprout it, the more starch comes out of there, and you want to get rid of that starch to make it more pure, right? More pure. So move it all around, get that starch coming out, and that. So the first step is you soak the wheat berries for 18 to 24 hours. That's about perfect to activate its sprouting potential. And then for the next 3 to 4 days, depending on how much you want them to sprout and how much of the shoots with the chlorophyll coming out when you're actually going to ferment it in the water, you want to rinse it once in the morning and once at night. And if you're really fanatic about it, you could even do it 3 times a day if you're at home and you have the time. But 1 time is good, 2 times is better, and 3 times is the best. 2 is still really good, once in the morning, once in the evening. 2 rinses, that way they're getting watered every day, and the sprouts are going to be really healthy and good. They're not going to dry out, especially depending on the weather, whether it's, you got a moist, humid climate, or it's really dry and hot, then you would want to water it more. So it depends also on your climate of where you live. So there, I've rinsed it now 3 times here. All right, and this is the 3rd day of sprouting with 1 day of soaking. So this is about approximately 3 to 4 days after from the initial soaking. All right, so you want to get all the water out too. You don't want any water kind of sitting at the bottom. That will also cause less than excellent sprouting conditions. They don't like to be submerged directly in the water. Sometimes the bottom there, you can see those ones are less sprouted, and ultimately when you do the final, which I'll do here, when we do the final add the water and let it all soak, we'll get rid of a little bit of these bottom ones here that have not sprouted, because they're not activated and they're creating more of the starch and stuff. Alright, so here we go. Look at that. That's how you rinse it. So that's all you do, and each time you rinse it twice a day. If you're doing twice a day, you want to rinse it 2 or 3 times each time, and then that way you're getting rid of the starch, you're purifying it, and it's really amazing. The sprouts, are the spark of life in there, so powerful that they can, some seeds create gigantic trees, hundreds of feet tall, all contained within that little seed or sprout. Alright, so that's how to rinse it, and the next step will be how to ferment it and for how long. This process takes approximately 1.5 to 2 weeks or longer, depending on how strong you want it to be fermented and how strong you want this Rejuvelac to be. But like I said, this is one of the powerful living probiotics that have the power of the live enzymes in there. Alright, so there it is there. And then the last little thing I want you to know here is, if you have a really nice cheesecloth, like this is like hemp cloth, which is natural fibers, doesn't contain any bleach or anything, is really good. That's really nice if you can do that. I unfortunately didn't have a piece this big, so I'm just using a regular tea towel, a regular thing like that, and or sorry, whatever you call these things here, one of these here. So you just you rip off one of those, and then of course wrap it around and secure it with a rubber band, and that way no fruit flies or bugs or mold or any kind of airborne bacteria get in there. Alright, so that's really important as well. And then you can let that sit just in your kitchen or near a windowsill where there's a bit of sunlight. As it begins to sprout more, then then the chlorophyll from the sun will help it as well. So the sun also charges it and gives it energy, but it doesn't need it. It could just be in your kitchen, but don't put it in a dark place like in your cupboard or something. At least have some light. Alright, so I'll be back here with the rest of the recipe, and we'll go through the process, and then I'll make the Rejuvelac. This will be about 2 weeks later. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're back about 6-8 hours later now, around 6 or 8 hours later, and after that little rinse we did, and as you can see here around the bottom, we got some nice green ones here, where there's more light, and up on top especially you see all the green chlorophyll, the green color, the green pigment of the chlorophyll, and they're getting much larger there. Much larger. So just 6 to 8 hours after that, already quite a bit. As you dig through into the middle over here a bit more, you can see there's less chlorophyll, because chlorophyll has to do with the light and the photosynthesis of the light. So what we can do to increase the chlorophyll in this is, now once it's partly sprouted like this, is it will be also great to put it in the sun. Alright, so we're going to do that here. And one last little tip here, while we're at it here, we might as well clean out, get all the good stuff on top here. This stuff here, let's get all that here. Yeah, you see good quality, lots of sprouting going on, no deactivated seeds that either got drowned out by water, because they're mostly all the ones at the bottom there are going to be the ones that are less alive and sprouted. Alright, we got a bit there, but there's a couple little more good ones there, but the rest is there's a lot of degenerated ones that never really got going. If you look in there, you see in the bottom there, none of those are sprouted there. A lot of these are pretty good here, and some of them may still sprout now that they're on top like this. So well, we could do that as an experiment. We could put most of them that way, it doesn't go to waste, and most of them are a little bit sprouted, but at the very bottom there, if you can see in there, none of those ones are sprouted at all down there. So those ones would be the ones that are kind of dead. there and that don't have the life force with the chlorophyll. Alright, so we'll do the best we can. We'll leave a little bit, and that goes back to your compost, and that's all good stuff too as well. And there we got the good stuff there. And it is nice to put it in the glass bowls or glass containers. That way there is more sunlight, like at least in the bottom and the sides as well. Like the sides here will have the good sunlight. So we'll just rinse this one out quickly here. Alright, and make sure all the water is out of there. Pretty well all of it, and that way again, like I said, that will help. And this stuff on top was a little bit of the not so sprouted stuff because it was at the bottom of the glass. So let's mix it in, get it all mixed in good like that. Then we'll add it to the glass jar one more time. We'll put the lid on and we'll go put it in the windowsill there for the most optimal chlorophyll, the blood of plants. The green blood that runs through the veins of the plants, especially the leafy greens, dark kales, chard, cilantro. Cilantro is also amazing blood-brain carrier. Got amazing nutrients to cross the blood-brain barrier, also known as BBB, brain-blood barrier. Bring the phytonutrients with the biophotonic light with the chlorophyll intact for chelating the heavy metals. Alright, so there we go, we got that there already there, and I'll be back with the windowsill here, put it in the sun. I'll show you what's going on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we are, we're back here one day later. Nice morning sunny day out there, blue sky. Alright, awesome, getting lots of sunlight. As you can see here, the green wheatgrass sprouts are starting to grow pretty nice up top there. And that just makes a great little top here. Glass as well, no bugs get in. But it's still as well, like before, it's totally bubbling in here with basically the oxygen rich water here. So this Rejuvelac drink is very oxygenating for the blood, for the body and the cells. Oxygen keeps disease away and keeps the immune system strong, and a purified blood. So there's a lot of bubbles coming up there. I don't know if you can see the bubbles from there, but I can definitely see a lot of them coming up. Oh, big ones there, and they're coming up consecutively for the last 24 hours all the time. And look at that, even on top there, look at all the bubbles there. And you can see some bubbles coming up even from up there. And as well, it's getting a few of the things floated up there. Look, a few of the grains and stuff has floated up there. Now that is going to be fine. Like I said, you can either do the cloth like this, put it over, secure it, and then put the crystals in there to keep that from oxidizing on the top, or as well just get a little sifter and sift it out every day, you know, as part of your routine, or every couple days, or whatever you want. If you're only fermenting it for like 4 days, like anywhere from like 3 to 6 days, let's say, then you won't even need to worry about this stuff that floats on top. It won't go to mold that quick. Or you can put that little glass of some kind over top to also push down that stuff and slow down the oxidation process for that. But it's amazing so far. Well, I gave it a little taste today. It's definitely not quite ready after just 24 hours. It is still really good, and there's a lot of oxygen, still excellent, but I'm gonna keep waiting here longer and longer. Amazing amount of bubbles coming up there. This is awesome. Alright, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with the Rejuvelac drink here. This has been bottled, and all the sprouts have been taken out, and now this is the nice amazing white look of it, the Rejuvelac, a longevity natural probiotic drink, a living probiotic. Alright, and now this has been refrigerated for about 2 days, and I've been drinking a little bit each day, as well as using it for enema recipes, using it for the bath, using it for facials and skin ointments, as well as using it in the neti pot as well. So this is awesome. This is what it turned out like there, and it's awesome Rejuvelac probiotic drink from nature. Alright, so I'll take a little nice little. Alright, beautiful, great stuff. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Try making your own Rejuvelac. This stuff is awesome.